Hi everyone, it's Adrian here from OpenUnited. I'm one of the founders of OpenUnited, and it's the middle of May, 2024, the 14th of May. I wanted to give a quick tour of the OpenUnited platform and where we currently stand, and to dig into some of the concepts that maybe you've seen so far about OpenUnited, and to show you how those things come to life in the platform as it stands. So a brief recap on what is OpenUnited, if I just quickly show this slide. So we are a platform, and it's also a kind of marketplace, you could say. We combine product management and a talent marketplace in one. So we have products and we have challenges and bounties on those products where we incentivize contributors to come along and to help those product teams. And we also help those product teams to clearly and efficiently explain their products and the help that's required through challenges and bounties, and also provide a whole system around this with, you could say, gamification of this with points. And these points can also potentially be redeemed for payment. So it's quite a complete platform that we're creating, and we're busy with that. And it's quite a mature platform already. We've been working on it for a few years, and I recently joined this full time, so focusing on OpenUnited full time since the start of this month in May 2024, and aiming to take it to the next level and help some of the customers that we're working with already. So, with that said, one thing I wanted to mention is that there's really a lot happening. So this is like yesterday. Um, so we're flat out improving the platform, and if you want to follow along, feel free to go to OpenUnited/platform on GitHub. I wanted to mention briefly that there's two repos that we use. All of our production code is, in fact, in this repo, including the front end and the back end. We do have a separate repo, which is this one, the UX prototype, which is also interesting because what we do in here is we design our target user experience, and we also improve the user experience that we've implemented in here. So what that means is that things are flowing from two directions into this UX prototype repo. They're either screens that we're creating from scratch for new capabilities where we want to focus on the user experience as a starting point, or they might be things where we've actually implemented some functionality in the platform and we want to make it look better. Now, this is interesting because this is really used instead of us doing our screen designs in Figma, you could say. And it gives you a good idea of what we're doing because we automatically update this repository with a static version, which is online if you go to openunited.github.io/UX prototype. And if I go to /screen list inside of that directory, you can see a list of the screens. So this is, you'll see, for example, here's the home screen. So we actually designed that screen in this simplified. It's still a Python application, but a very simple one using Flask. And we designed these screens using a component library called Tailwind UI. And we design our screens in here, and then they float into this platform repo all the other way around. So if you want to get just a quick look at some of the screens to get your head around it, you can visit this URL. It's always up to date with this. With this repo. This repo is not always up to date with what we're implementing though, because as I mentioned, there's things going in two directions into this repo. So I wanted to mention that. And what's interesting about this workflow as well is that we use the same templating language. So instead of using Figma, for example, and then trying to connect the dots between a Figma board and a front end or something like that, what we instead do is sort of UX development, where we actually implement the screens in the same templating language that we use in our production code base, and we also separate out data that's used, so fixtures or sample data is separated out into JSON files. What this means is that the work that we're doing in this repo is directly transferable. So the screen design work that we do is directly transferable into the platform. We don't use this directly in production, but it could be, for example, that some of the views that you see inside of this templates directory in here are very closely related to the screen designs that were done in here. And what that also means is that we can, let's say, I don't know, we want to improve the way that it looks when people submit an idea for a product. We're able to take this template out, stick it in this prototype directory, and then a UX developer can come along and help us without having to worry about the rest of the application. And then we also have a very clear history, of course, in the commit history in this repo, where we can see what changes have happened to different files. So if a screen has been improved, for example, then you can see exactly what's changed, so we can then easily apply those updates. So that's a bit of a quick explanation of, I suppose, the code and the repo structure. We spent quite a bit of time and money simplifying our platform. I decided to do this about a year ago, and the reason is because we really want to have it to be fast and easy for contributors to spin up this platform and to be able to make contributions. And that's because we are sitting in the middle here between products and contributors, and it cannot be too difficult for contributors to understand a product or to actually contribute, right? I mean, otherwise the whole premise of OpenUnited would be kind of questionable, right? So what we try to do is reduce the barriers for product teams to be able to explain their products and to make that more efficient. We're using generative AI increasingly to do that. And we also helping contributors to understand products through the way that we explain them, which I'll show you in a minute, and also to provide incentives for contributors to claim bounties and help those product teams. So we need to, let's say, drink our own champagne or stick to our beliefs and our principles. And therefore, we made the decision to greatly simplify the code base. So what we now have is a single repository. We used to have a React front end and a GraphQL layer. We deleted all of that. We actually shrunk our code base by 60%. And greatly reduced the number of files and the amount of cognitive load, let's say, that's required to contribute. And we're following, I guess, a kind of DDD or domain-driven design paradigm where we use Django apps in this case as a way of creating bounded contexts. So the two main things that are in OpenUnited are, let's say, the product management side and the contributor side. So we've got product teams and we've got contributors, and there's these kinds of journeys that people go on. So from creating a product and managing that product to creating challenges and managing the contributions on the product side, and then on the contributor side, from creating a profile all the way through completing work and building up a portfolio of work, which is then a huge asset, right? Because this stuff is public. So you can see, for example, that somebody's contributed to products via OpenUnited, and you can see their work. So what we're trying to do is to really take, let's say, this open source paradigm to the next level and make it work in conjunction with product management. So we sort of call these things open products. And that helps us to not only bring more contributors that are, say, developers, but also bring people with different skill sets. So it's also possible for UX designers, for product managers, and people with other skills to participate in product development. Whereas these people historically, haven't had GitHub accounts and they're not developers. They don't understand necessarily what a repo is. If you're one of those people, I'm sorry for jumping around in the code base, but it's important, I suppose, for this video that I give you the sort of orientation that I think is going to help explain what we're doing. And this video is for a wide range of people. We are going to create more specific videos. I have a whole plan around that I wrote together with ChatGPT. Apparently, we need around 11 videos to cover the product properly. So I'm going to try and give you this sort of orientation and a quick tour of some of the key features. Now, I mentioned, though, that we simplified this code base, and I did a test yesterday, and I can actually get this environment running locally with nothing pre-installed from scratch. I can get this running on my MacBook in 2 minutes. Now, you might say that we're lucky because we've got a simple tech stack and you don't understand what it's really like. And yeah, I do. And that's why we invested in simplifying it. And I think that's one of the things, let's say, that I would like to do is to help product teams and to challenge product teams to really see contributors and see engineers and see other types of people with other types of skill sets as people who have valuable time where it shouldn't take them 6 months to become productive, to contribute to a product, right? There shouldn't be a whole bunch of magic knowledge that you require. The documentation should either be, often it's non-existent or it's just some huge Word document that's out of date or something. We're trying to make it really relevant, right? So that the product teams don't have to do a lot of unnecessary work or a lot of arduous work. The contributors also don't have to spend 6 months getting up to speed. And I'm really proud of this, that actually we did this investment and simplified our own code base, because now, people can come along and contribute in 2 minutes. And I'll make a video proving that that's true for fun. But take my word for it. If you follow these instructions here and you create a fork and you go through and you set up the environment yourself locally, you can become a contributor to OpenUnited in 2 minutes. And if you have Python skills and a good understanding of data models, you should be able to get your head around, for example, the data structure that we have in the product management and talent applications very quickly, and even start helping us today. So this is an invitation. If you want to start building your portfolio on OpenUnited.com, actually helping us with our own platform, which is one of the products that's on there, then please do so. Please go to github.com/OpenUnited/platform, fork the repo over to your own GitHub account, and follow the instructions that I showed you just before that are linked here from here, this contributing.markdown file. Okay, so what does OpenUnited look like? Well, I showed you this screen, but let's actually jump over to the staging server. So this is an instance that we use just for verifying things. So I'll show you a few things here, and I'll log in as 2 different users and show you their dashboards just so you get a bit more of an idea. And as I mentioned, I'm going to make some more detailed screencasts that cover the different parts of the lifecycle, because there's quite a lot in the platform. But if you're a contributor and you're visiting OpenUnited for the first time, or if you're running an instance of OpenUnited in your own company that is branded, it might look a bit different. It might have your company's logo here and I don't know, your head of product talking here or something like that. But the idea is that you as a contributor, you want to claim a bounty, right? You want to help a product team, as I was mentioning, who has some sort of challenge, and you want to be incentivized to help them, right? And we call that concept, that sort of incentive to help specifically with a challenge that a product team has, we call that a bounty. And you claim bounties as a contributor. And you can see here in this view, there's a whole bunch of different bounties. Some of them are available, some of them aren't. So where it says claim, it's available to claim. Where it doesn't have a claim button, it's not available to claim. And of course, you can filter by the status, and we also have different skills that you can filter by, and expertise is kind of a refinement of the skill. So the way that the data model works in relation to skill and expertise, just to explain it, is if you have, say, full stack development, expertise is a kind of refinement inside of that. And expertise is itself a tree, as are skills. So there's sort of two tree structures that are related to each other, but in terms of the user experience, it's very simple. So we modeled it in a way that I think makes sense to people, and it's a bit sophisticated, I guess, that it's two trees that are linked to each other. But the way to think about it is a skill is something that a bounty has, right? So you're looking for somebody who's a back-end developer, or you're looking for somebody who's a front-end developer, or somebody to do test automation or to make UI designs or something like that. And then inside of UI design, you might have some other tools. I don't know if Adobe XD exists anymore. I need to update the expertise, which is easy to do. But the idea is that you could have some UX UI bounty, and it's related to Figma, and then obviously somebody can look for that specific expertise. And also, the profiles of contributors also have skills and expertise. So what we're kind of doing, you could say, is we're matching skills and expertise between bounties and the contributors. Okay, so you can see here that there's a bunch of bounties, and there's of course more to this than just bounties, because bounties also relate to products. Bounties also belong to a challenge, and challenges can in turn belong to an initiative. I'm not going to talk too much about this because it's not that important at the moment. The way to think about it is a challenge is something like, let's say, implement a new dashboard for the product, and that challenge could have different skill sets required. Okay, so you can imagine if you want to discover what the new dashboard should do, what users really want, and what the design should be and implement it as a challenge, you could require different types of skill sets, right? So you could have a product manager doing user research, you could have a UX designer creating mock-ups, you could have a UX developer building the screen designs, and you could have a full stack developer implementing it or something like that. Now, each of those different skill sets that I mentioned is then going to be a bounty on that challenge. And those bounties can be claimed by different people, and those people don't have to know each other, of course, but they then collaborate to solve that challenge together. And so this challenge provides a shared context within which people with different skills can collaborate to solve the challenge. Now, there's also the concept of an initiative. An initiative gives you a way of further grouping challenges together. So it could be that you say, okay, all of these challenges, though, are related to the new implementing the new brand or something like that. So that might be an initiative that's spanning both, let's say, a challenge to do with re-implement or redesigning the dashboard, and also changing the homepage, and also, I don't know, making new videos or something like that. And that initiative comprises those challenges, and each of those challenges in turn comprises bounties. And those bounties, for the video, it can be writing a script, and video production as bounties, and the dashboard is more software development. So we've created a product management framework, let's say, to actually underpin this thinking, where these concepts are well explained, and we're actually planning on writing a book. You can start reading about that here at openunited.com/canopy. The idea is that we think that the world is missing a product management framework. So there are lots of frameworks like Scrum or methodologies like Scrum and so on, but they're not really product management frameworks. So we try to create a kind of opinionated way of managing products, breaking them down into what we call product areas, into a product tree. And so you don't have to worry about it, but what we're doing is sort of creating a product management framework with these concepts in it. So you could apply these concepts in any tool. You could apply them in Jira, for example, if you were using that, or you could use the OpenUnited platform. And you could use the OpenUnited platform as well as whatever you're using. And these concepts would make sense. So challenges can also be dependent on each other. So there's quite some sophisticated stuff in the platform. But this is let's say this is the view of bounties that a contributor would see. And you can also see, you can look at products. And this is one of the key points I wanted to mention as well, is that we not only want to reduce the barriers for contributors to contribute to products by making it, for example, easy to create a development environment and to be able to contribute, but we also want to help retail those products to make them attractive to contributors, so that you can have, you might have a core team over here with a few engineers in your core team, but you might have a pool of hundreds of contributors. They could be potentially on the internet, they might be within your company, there might be people from different departments even, who can help you. And so it's important that those products are attractive, and that the work to be done, let's say the challenges and the bounties, are also compelling and well explained. So you'll see here, it looks quite inviting, right? What we're doing is effectively retailing these products and retailing the work on those products, and making the whole thing make sense and providing incentives. So now I've jumped into the product summary for one of these products. So there's many products here that are just example products, and you can see I can watch a video, I can see the challenges that are available, and also the product is explained with a product tree. So I mentioned that we have this product management framework. This is one of the things that we've come up with, where basically these are just examples, but you can break a product down into these areas, and each of these areas are explained, and these areas are in turn related to challenges and bounties, therefore, as well. So this helps to reduce, let's say, the amount of research that a contributor has to do to be productive when they're contributing to a product, and actually what we're going to enable soon is the ability to have multiple product trees for a single product. It's already in the data model. And so you can read about why if you go to openunited.com/canopy again. Our idea is that it should be possible to break a product down through different lenses. So We list some of the different lenses. You could break it down based on persona, based on features, based on experiences. And the idea again is that the products are really well explained, and that there's a link between the way that those products are explained and also the work to be done or the challenges on those products. So this is an example of a product tree. If I was a product manager on this product, I could edit this tree and drag and drop things around and add descriptions and videos for each of these product areas. And so this is one of the things that we aspire to do, is to make products really attractive and clearly explained, and also make it easy for product teams to do that. And you can see here inside of this product view, I'm missing a product image here because this is just sample data, but you can also see the bounties here that are available, and I could claim them and so on. You can also see a list of the initiatives. Challenges are again a layer above bounties, and you can also, as anybody who's got an account, you can add ideas, you can upvote ideas, you can also submit bugs. So we try to create a kind of value add for product teams where people can submit ideas, people can help them by claiming work or challenges and bounties. People can submit bugs. The products are clearly explained, and product teams are able to connect with a whole network of contributors. So I'm not going to go on for too much longer, but hopefully this is helpful so far. There are two test users that I wanted to sign in as. So the first one is Pacey. You might remember him from a 90s TV show. He made a reappearance. The actor made a reappearance in the Netflix series. But Pacey is a contributor, and Pacey has a dashboard, and you can see here that Pacey has already claimed this bounty, and he needs to submit his work, and he's also requested this other bounty. And this gives you an idea of some of the workflow capabilities that we have. So the way that it works is, if I'm a contributor and I'm claiming a bounty, the first thing is that, depending on the configuration, but if I go to claim a bounty, I'm actually submitting a request to claim that bounty, and I have to agree to conditions, and also, if it's enabled, let's say, agree to the contribution guidelines, which explain to me how to contribute with that skill set to this product. So if this is software development, it will explain to me how to issue a pull request and so on. And when I submit this claim, then it goes into this status where it's requested, and then as a product manager, I can then grant that bounty claim. And then after I submit the work as a contributor, then I get to review the work. So we provide a kind of control layer. So you'll still have your other mechanisms in the background, so pull requests and these kinds of things, like a review of that. But this is a way of then coordinating these activities. Now, when I complete this work, then I'm building up a portfolio of my work, which I'll show you in a separate video. I'm just mindful of this. I'm not sure how long I've been talking for, but I have a cold and I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to shut up soon. If I log in as a product manager, you'll see here that I have a different view because I have, where's the dashboard? Yeah, I have these products and I can manage these products. So Regina is a manager of Cloud Canvas, and you can see here that there's these challenges that exist, that there's these bounty claim requests that I can accept and reject, and I also have to review the work that's been submitted. Now, one of the things that we also can do is also have review bounties that where the community can also review the work. So you can create a way of incentivizing people to, for example, review a pull request after it's submitted, and then you have a kind of the community also helping to ensure quality outcomes. And we also plan to have partners that we can plug into the ecosystem. So, for example, you can imagine that we could have third parties providing pen testing services or something like that. So we've got a lot of big ideas, but for now we try to focus on helping product teams to really retail their products effectively, like I was showing you. So how to explain your product and break it down and make it attractive to contributors, and also to help contributors to discover those products, discover the work to be done, and to incentivize them with points that they can claim to build up a portfolio of their work, which then becomes a great asset, right? Because you can see all of the work that contributors have done, and all of the investment that's made to explain the products and to explain the work is transferred onto that portfolio for the contributor. And as I mentioned, we're using generative AI to help do this, which is great, actually, that generative AI has come along in the way that it has, because we always believed in, let's say, investing to explain products and to explain challenges. And now what we see is this is a big help to automate a lot of that and to keep things up to date. So we think this is the next generation of how teams and contributors will connect in companies, and also with public products. So we're trying to help open source projects become products. If you're interested in this, either to run an instance of OpenUnited in your company to help broaden the people that can contribute to your products, as well as to help, let's say, create consistency in the way that your products are explained, we'd love to talk to you. Or if you're a company that is, let's say, a tech company who has a bunch of ancillary products that are, I don't know, integration libraries, command line interfaces, these kinds of things, maybe marketplace apps, where you think we could help you to explain those as products and to connect you with contributors, then I'd really love to talk to you as well. So my email address is adrian@openunited.com. I hope this was useful. Sorry about my voice, and we'll be back with some more videos to cover off these areas soon.